Hey guys, it's Larry Greenberg, and today we're going to take a look at the ExpertShield. ExpertShield is a company based out of the UK making screen shields for a variety of mobile devices. They make them in both anti-glare and crystal clear. Today we're going to be taking a look at the anti-glare version for the iPad. This shield for the iPad will cost you in the US around $19. If you're in the UK, just under £12. They do ship to the US from the UK. It takes about 3 to 5 days, and it'll cost you just over $2. So if you're in the US, this shield shipped to your door from the UK will run you around $22. If you're in the UK, it'll be just under £14. So I want to show you the essential tools that I use when it comes to installing a screen shield, and then we'll get to installing the screen shield itself. So these are the items that I use when I go to install a screen shield. I keep a can of compressed air on hand. I use this to blow away any dust that might be on the screen before I apply the shield. I use a microfiber cloth, again, to wipe away any dust that might be floating around. I use this squeegee most of the time. It's kind of a hard plastic with a rubber tip at the end. It seems to work really well. I'm not even sure where I got it, but it's probably my favorite of the squeegees that I own. And then I use packing tape. I know a lot of people like Scotch tape to lift the shield up and then remove dust. For me, this works best. I have trouble sometimes with Scotch tape getting the shield to come up. So these are the essential items that I use when it comes to installing a screen shield. So as far as what you get with the ExpertShield, you get the screen shield itself, and then they include a rather small microfiber cloth that you can use to, wipe away the dust if you don't already have one of your own. It's a two-sided shield, meaning that it has the protective layer on both sides, which I like. And it's actually made of 3 different layers. The bottom layer is the silicone adhesive that you use to attach the shield to your screen. The middle layer is kind of the bulk of the screen shield, and then it has an anti-scratch coating over the top. So it's a 3-layer shield, which should give you a good amount of protection. The shield is removable and rewashable as well. So, if you've had it on there and all of a sudden you notice some dust, which does happen from time to time. I don't know how dust works its way under a shield, but sometimes that happens. You can remove it, clean it, and then put it back on. So let's get to installing the shield onto my iPad. Alright, so here's my iPad. The first step in the process is to take the microfiber cleaning cloth and wipe away as much dust as you can from the screen. Now I'm in my basement, which is very dusty. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up with dust underneath the screen shield no matter what I do. That's what the packing tape is for, though. I'm not worried about it. I usually get it all out. So I'm going to use this again just to wipe away as much dust as I can. Then I take my can of compressed air, which I have here, and just lightly blow away any other dust that I kind of see settling on the screen. Once that's away, I like to hold it up at an angle. Again, you don't want to touch the screen, but I hold it underneath and kind of cup it and just push any other dust off the screen. You can really see it this way quite well. Sometimes when you lay your iPad flat, you don't even know when there's dust on there, but if you hold it up at an angle like so, the dust shows much easier. So I brush all that off. So once you're confident that you've gotten the bulk of the dust off the iPad screen, it's time to install the shield. So once you've got it laid down and nice and straight, you leave the top layer on, the layer that says step 2. And then you take your squeegee and try to work out as many of the bubbles that have formed on the screen as you can. Alright, so I just proceeded to work out as many of the bubbles as I could. I still have that top piece on. You can see hopefully that there's a couple bubbles there, and I think those are attributed to dust. So what I'm going to do now is remove this top layer like so, and the shield sometimes comes up a little bit, and if it does, simply take this layer, or you can use the original layer depending on which one you have, it doesn't really matter. Place it back over the screen and use it to squeegee it again, and that'll kind of allow it to settle back down like so. All right, so I've completed the install. I did most of the dust removal off camera just because, you know, if you want to do this right, you have to be patient. It does take a good amount of time. I'd say it probably took me 10 minutes to remove all of the dust. The goal with any good screen shield installation is to get it on so that you don't even know it's there. I think I've accomplished that with the ExpertShield. But let me turn on my iPad just so you can see, you know, the, I guess, difference between an anti-glare and a crystal clear. You know, if you're using an anti-glare, you know it's very, very clear. I'll turn the brightness up on the iPad just so you can see, you know, with it up a little bit higher. I have my brightness down really low to conserve battery. So if I were to do auto brightness, let's say, it'll brighten it up a little bit more, and you can see that, you know, it's not much difference when it comes to viewing the screen as far as I'm concerned. The iPad doesn't have a Retina display, so I don't know that using a crystal clear shield is all that important versus anti-glare. For me, I love anti-glare shields. I hate fingerprints on my devices, and I think that the, you know, this variety, there's all white. I do have airplane mode on. There's all white just so you can see, you know, how bright it looks and the fact that there's no bubbles. I like having the anti-glare because I don't like showing fingerprints on my screen. So I'm pretty happy with the install process of the ExpertShield. I think it's a good price for an iPad screen shield, especially one that's anti-fingerprint. The crystal clear versions are a little bit less expensive if you, you know, are not a fan of anti-glare or anti-fingerprint and you want to go with a crystal clear. You can check those out on the ExpertShield website. I'll put links in the video description for both of the shields. And if you have any questions about anything you saw here today, feel free to drop me a line. Otherwise, you have a great day.